Good afternoon. I'm Marvin Appel, editor of Systems and Forecast Investment Newsletter, here at the 2018 Chicago Traders Expo. I have the pleasure of talking with Daniel Gramza, president of Gramza Capital Management, right here in Chicago. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Well, I understand you're going to be presenting to the conference later with the topic of investment opportunities for the rest of 2018.
Correct.
Well, would you care to give our listeners a preview of where you see opportunities?
Well, I guess if I think of by sectors, Marvin,
okay.
If we look at, we start with equities, the stock market. I'm bullish on the stock market. I have been since March of 09, really, and I still am. I think the fundamentals still support upward movement. Are we going to have volatility? I would expect that, but I think the general economic support further movement to the upside. In the currency area, I'm bullish on the U.S. dollar, because I think if indeed we assume that the stock market may get stronger, that usually attracts capital to our country, which, as you know, that creates a demand for U.S. dollars, and therefore I would expect the U.S. dollars to rise a little bit. So that's why I'm bullish on that. I'm bearish on prices for interest rate markets. So in the futures market, we trade price. So where I'm looking for that price to go down in 10-year notes, 30-year bonds, actually the whole yield curve, primarily because money has to come from someplace to go into the stock market. So if we assume that the stock market may get stronger, well, that money could come from, oftentimes does, come from the interest rate side. And so I expect that. I look for lower prices there. Gold and silver, precious metals, I'm neutral on. Bullish. They want to go higher by the structures I see technically, but there's just no paper behind it. Those markets need an excuse to do something. You know, they need higher inflation. They need a weaker dollar. They need, all those kind of unusual catastrophe or something that would stimulate people going to a value type investment like that. And I just don't think we have them out there right now. So on that markets, I'm really neutral. I'm not necessarily bearish on it. But copper is a market that, even though it's been down, I am bullish on.
You're bullish on copper?
Yeah.
Well, that's consistent with your economic outlook if you're bullish on the economy.
Marvin, you're right on target. That's exactly right. Because China's the largest consumer of copper, right? So, but we got to watch China. China's got some challenges coming up, I think. But if indeed they can start firming up a bit, I would expect copper to start moving with it. Crude oil, energy markets, I'm bearish on. We have plenty of supply globally. We see the talk like over this weekend with the Trump administration in Iran.
Right. Well, that's a threat to supply, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is because it creates uncertainty. But the issue is there enough to stimulate it? Could crude oil react to that talk? Yes. Is enough there to move long term? The institutions I deal with around the globe in that sector, I think they kind of feel the same way I do, and that is the world supply is there. Something that's interesting, Marvin, that I find interesting is this year we have the potential for the United States to become the world's largest producer of crude oil. By the end of the year, we could be producing over 12 million barrels a day. And there's only 3 countries that are in this little group. It's Saudi Arabia, they're over 10 million, and Russia, exactly, over 10 million. But, we have the possibility of leading that group. We're not going to be independent on energy, right? But we're getting to the point where we're having more flexibility. So on the energy side, I'm bearish on it because I do think there's enough supply. Even if the Iranian sanctions do come into effect like the Trump administration wants by November, right? They're saying nada. Well, I don't think that's going to be an issue globally. So that sector is how I feel about that. And when it comes to the natural gas, that's also been depressed. We have a lot of supply, but there's things that are changing dynamically in Europe that I think could have an impact for us here in the United States. And that impact is they're finishing another pipeline
from Russia to Germany, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
And what some people are saying, okay, well, Russia's just going to shut that down, shut down the one that goes through Ukraine. The issue is that one pipeline is not enough to meet capacity requirements. The other thing that's different that I find fascinating is we now have terminals in the east coast of the United States, natural gas terminals, right, LNG terminals. They're building one in Poland, I think also in Estonia. Germany's building one. So we have a way now of sending LNG to that part of the world, right? The Netherlands supply is going to be down a bit. However, what that does, as you know, it cuts out Russia's ability to use LNG as a political tool.
Right.
You know, so I think it's going to be interesting to see what we have coming up this year in that area.
So to sum up, you're bullish on a lot of things. I mean, you're one of the most optimistic people I've had the pleasure of speaking with, and that's nice. So bullish on U.S. equities, bullish on the dollar, neutral on the precious metals, bullish on copper, but bearish on the energy complex, and bearish on bonds, which is all very interesting. When we come back for the second part of our chat, maybe we can get into some of the indicators, technical indicators that you use that have helped you form these opinions.
Sure.
Okay, well, this is, we have to take a break now. Again, this is Marvin Appel, Systems and Forecast Investment Newsletter. End of first segment with Daniel Gramza, the president of Gramza Capital Management, advisor to institutions around the world at the 2018 Chicago Traders Expo.